they got a limousine. They rented a limousine for the elite. Is it me? Is it the audio? Is it the fact that they're speaking words but not saying anything? Or do you never understand a word that these people say in relation to whatever point they're trying to make?
Well, no one speaks in layman's terms. No one speaks in just a common vernacular that's easy to understand. Everyone has even if they don't have a writer, they have some sort of memorized thing that they decided they wanted to say, and they try to deliver it, and it doesn't always work. Omega is very, very good at that. And
So
Matt
breathy,
Jackson right behind him.
His breathy voice just. But anyway, so they're in the limo, and basically Harpo is getting to the point where he's not afraid. They're not afraid of Moxley and Kingston and all that stuff. And then, of course, the horn honks outside the limousine, and they all shit their pants in a comedic way. But come to find out, it's not Moxley and Kingston honking the horn like they're going to run into their empty bus like they did last week, but it's Michael knock it to fuck off in the driver's seat who punched the wrong button. So they can't even be serious in their own fucking pre-tapes that they write themselves. But anyway, apparently later tonight they were teasing the idea we'd see Eddie Kingston against Knock It the Fuck Off. I mean, and there's Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson now doing Three Stooge shit and making faces. It's not possible. Whatever happens to anybody that gets involved with this group of jackoffs, it's not possible for him to be serious at that point on forevermore. It's just it's a big goof. It's a big hoot for them. And then we go right from that, speaking of a big hoot, into this. I knew what this was going to be, and I hate Mike and Matt Sydal. I like Mike Sydal. He's a nice young man. He worked underneath in Ring of Honor while I was there, and Matt, his older brother, is a very good worker when it comes to doing the moves, and he's wonderfully in shape. But all this was going to be was to the nth degree cheerleading gymnastics with these four guys, and that's what we got. And for the people who say that the Cucamonga kids, they're better as heels now, I'm looking at them making the faces and doing the heel actions, and I can't see the heels as heels because they look so preposterously like children playing wrestler. They do it well, but it's like me imitating a Terry Funk promo. If I'm doing a Terry Funk promo, people would laugh because it would be Jim Cornette doing a Terry Funk promo. I would be playing a part just because I recited all the words and approximated the voice. Visually, it would not work. And this was 100 miles an hour, nothing registered. Now, except Pie Face is doing a little strut and making constipation faces like Twinkle Toes does. They went through a break at one point. Did you see the Bucks did a switch in front of the corpse referee and he let them do it? And even the announcers were calling bullshit on it. Well, he's letting them get away with that. This moron, Rick Knox, is the worst referee I've ever seen. Imagine the 75-year-old New York State Athletic Commission referees that I had to work with in the 80s that were on the verge of not just death, but fossilization. And they were better than this idiot. He's got no credibility, and even their fans and their announcers can see it. He's got a job because he's the Rancho Cucamonga branch of the Young Bucks fan club. And so a more 100-mile-an-hour shit with the ludicrous choreography. And also, just from a booking standpoint, even if you did want to take the Young Bucks seriously as a fucking tag team, I don't know why you would, but if you did, then the Sydal brothers, who are even smaller than they are, and have never won a match on television, and have barely had a match on television, were kicking the shit out of all the supposed greatest tag team in the world. But if this was the 1990s WWF, the Sydals, all respect to them, would be the conquistadors. And it went on forever. And after everybody survived every move that's ever been done in a ring, They beat Mike with a shitty-looking double knee lift. Couldn't even take a bump. He was already on his knees. This was rotten. Hello?
Yeah, I didn't know if that was the end of your comments about this match.
Well, I'm just, help me in any way. Help me understand this. Help me get over this. Help me make it through the night.
It was exactly what you would expect it to be when you hear Young Bucks versus the Sydal brothers, or more specifically, Matt Sydal. I like the Bucks better as heels. At least now it makes a little more sense why they behave the way and act the way they do. Nick Jackson, it does seem to have made a little bit of an improvement. Matt Jackson, like you said, it's the same hokey faces and bad acting. Nick Jackson doesn't do that, so it works. Matt Jackson, it's just bad emoting. Rick Knox is the worst referee there. We've all talked about it. I will tell you real quick, I just heard the other day from a friend of ours, Scott Dickinson, longtime referee, longtime WCW referee.
Yeah.
He wrote to me, he said, "Every time I hear you talk about AEW, I think about the time I moved to California and our favorite dentist hooked me up with Jesse Hernandez. I did 2 shows for him and asked about more, and he said, quote, 'Well, we have Rick Knox.'" Scott didn't get any more bookings.
But you like them better as heel.
You don't think this makes more sense? Them dressing like that, acting like that, being straight up heels?
It makes more sense because they are such smarmy, obnoxious pricks that you naturally want to dislike them. But I think you're still dabbling in the devil's lettuce.
Well, hold on. I actually wasn't this week. But let's just say you had to book the Young Bucks. Couldn't fire them. For some reason, you're in this weird predicament where you just have to book certain people. You have to book the Young Bucks. They're on the roster. You have them there. You have the choice to make them babyface or heel. To use them the way they've been used in the past or the way they're being used right now. You would admit this is more effective, them as heels like this.
I'd say a nice little babyface team with some bandanas on to put every other heel team over. That'd be the best use of them and their slappable faces. But speaking of tag teams that don't have slappable faces, Frankie Kazarian and Chris Daniels come out. Guess what they said, Brian? Do you remember what they said? They're still saying, next time we lose, we're done as a team. Which they last referred to on television the last time we saw them in a match, what, about 4 months ago?
It was either like December or January. It's been a while, yeah.
But now they're the number 1 contenders. Apparently they haven't lost a match. So, kudos to them for that. But then what was the point of bringing it up 4 months ago and never referring to it again? But now they're saying, next time we lose, we're done as a team, but they're the number 1 contenders, and they want a tag team title match. But now they're saying the next time they lose, they're not going to be a team again. So I don't know if I would put a lot of faith in them and give them a tag team title match on a theory that I may then not have a tag team. This does not make any sense whatsoever.
Was it ever explained why Scorpio Sky left SCU?
No, he was sitting in the bleachers with that fucking idiot Ethan Page. That's all we know. They must have concocted something amongst themselves. Chris Daniels' promo picked this up a little bit, but Frankie was just saying shit that either they told him to say or he memorized to say.